Shut up! You don't think Ryan is famous?
Cousin Ryan.
You gotta...
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Cousin Ryan.
Uncle Joel.
And I've made a couple of videos in the past just throwing topics out there for discussion. And Joel and I had this conversation a while back, and I wanted to make a video about it. I want to preface all this with I'm in no way advocating that there needs to be a sequel to The Labyrinth. But I think in this day and age of sequels that it's inevitable that we're going to get one, and I think doing it properly is important. So again, I'm not saying there should be a sequel, but if there has to be one, or if the studio is going to move forward with making one, because I don't think there has to be one, but especially now that the late, great David Bowie has passed on, like I would have been more excited about the prospect if he was still alive for sure. But I think the biggest question becomes, who takes over as the Goblin King if they decide to go through with a sequel? And I had mentioned that Tom Hiddleston should be the Goblin King, and not necessarily like a recasting, but like the son of the Goblin King, or that was where my idea left anyway, was that it would be like Jareth's son. And Joel came up with an interesting theory. Do you want to state that you've just recently rewatched?
So I have just recently rewatched Labyrinth just a few days ago.
And when was the last time you'd seen it previously?
Probably 10 years.
Okay, all right.
So my thoughts on this have changed quite a bit since we last had the conversation.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm interested now to hear.
So you had mentioned the theory that I had.
Yeah, related to Doctor Who and how the Doctor changes, and why couldn't the Goblin King then change and be played by different actors?
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily need to be the son of the Goblin King. It could be the Goblin King presenting himself in a different light, in a different personification that would fit with whoever it is that he's messing with at the time. So, assume that there would be a new actress or a new character that then has to go through the labyrinth, and so Jareth would change to match who it is that he's messing with. So I think that would be an interesting way of having a new actor play the same role and have it still fit in continuity, without having to go the route of it being his son, or without having to just brush it on the rug and act like it didn't happen, like have it actually be part of the story. And I think that would fit with the character, since it's all magical and mystical,
and I like that idea better, than what I had said. I mean, to me, the son of the Goblin, I mean, that is admittedly pretty corny. I hadn't thought about it any further than that. I definitely like your idea better. But I still think Tom Hiddleston would be great. I mean, and I know that's even a little bit kind of a corny pickup because he played Loki, and I guess I'd be expecting to see the Goblin King played more. It would be more of the same, really. I mean, I absolutely love him as Loki, so I know that's kind of... I'm not saying he would play Loki as the Goblin King, but there is the risk of it being too similar. You know what I mean?
So here's the thought that I had in that regard.
Okay.
First off, the musical aspect of Labyrinth would be difficult to replicate.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And so Tom Hiddleston or whoever plays Jareth would have to then be able to sing and do the musical parts as part of it.
Not necessarily, though. Because if you, like you're saying, he morphs and changes to fit whatever person he's pursuing, maybe it was necessary to have the musical side and serenade Sarah in the movie. And it doesn't... unless that is inherently part of the Goblin King, where he is musically inclined to relate to his target or whatever you want to call it.
I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with that point, but I think it's inherently part of the movie.
Okay. Okay.
So if you do a sequel and leave that out...
That's a fundamental that you need to keep within that unit. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
But then the other thought that I had in regards to actors, so you could go the Doctor Who route of having Jareth change, which fits with like the Labyrinth changing. But if you didn't do that and you went son of the Goblin King, you could do Tom Hiddleston and, for some reason my mind's blanking on his name, Barney Miller in How I Met Your Mother.
Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love twin sons of the Goblin King.
Oh, yes.
And a competition between the two.
Okay. Wow. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Now that's totally just... So are we saying then that you wouldn't even... This wouldn't even be necessarily about somebody making it through the labyrinth. It's more about them trying to fight each other for the throne, or
somebody trying to go through the labyrinth and both of them messing with them. And like competing to see who can mess with them better, or who gets to take possession of them at the end. Or
I want to see this movie now. Joel, wow, man, you've really hit a home run there. I like that. Oh gosh, man, that would be really good to see those two guys going at it like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that way,
I'm floored. Like, I did not see this coming. Like, earlier tonight when we were out buying our zombie Skittles and stuff, and Joel said, "No, I've got a different theory about this now that I've seen the movie recently," and I didn't see that coming, man. You really, wow. I like that. I got nothing else, man. I thought I was, like, in the ballpark with just saying Tom Hiddleston should be, the next Goblin King, but I really like that idea, man. Wow, well done. I don't know that I have anything else to contribute to this conversation now, but... Is there any more? Tell me more, man. I want to know more. Where does this...
That's all I've formulated so far.
Okay. Wow. That's great.
I think there could be a lot of fun to be had with that, and opens it up for so much more potential, and to the point that I would actually be okay with them making a sequel.
Yeah, because I don't, like I said, I'm not saying there needs to be a sequel. This is all based on the idea that a sequel will happen eventually, no matter what. So, what's the best route to take with it? And I think I want to mention, because I had these same feelings about the new Bill and Ted movie. And I don't know if you guys, this might be spoilerish. I don't know. This is actually, like, factually something that's happening. So if you're avoiding spoilers from Bill and Ted, which I don't know if anybody is avoiding spoilers from that, but spoiler alert. My biggest concern is how you deal with the character Rufus in Bill and Ted 3. The late, great George Carlin. You can't replace him. There's absolutely nothing. Like, you can't. I was just struggled to think, how do you, because you can't ignore him. But you can't recast Rufus either. So how is this handled effectively? And they haven't said what her role is going to be yet, but they have confirmed that George Carlin's daughter is in Bill and Ted 3, Face the Music. So I think that's great. Like, I really, that caught me off guard when I read that, and I can't picture a better way of dealing with the loss of Rufus than to have George Carlin's daughter in there. I mean, and it's not confirmed that she's going to play Rufus's daughter, but I think she should. She should play Rufus's daughter. That that's a perfect. And I'm sure that's. I mean, I say I'm sure. I'm not. I don't have any proof, but I really would be surprised if that's not the route they take.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the Labyrinth, I really like your idea. I really do. That would be fun. So here's the part where we say, what are your thoughts? I'm curious to know what you guys think about a Labyrinth sequel. Should it be made? Should it just be left alone? No, that's it. No sequel, no nothing. No remake. I I will add, though, speaking of remakes or reboots or whatever, I know the reboot word gets tossed around a little bit because it doesn't sound as harsh as remake. And sometimes reboots are remakes. Sometimes they're, a sequel, decades down the road that's rebooting the franchise, like, starting it up again. If they make another Labyrinth movie, it's got to be somehow in continuity with the original. I hope after some failed attempts to reboot franchises, like actually reboot them with ignoring all the prior, films and things, that Hollywood's learned that just doesn't work. You got to really play the nostalgia chord. Part of the nostalgia chord is acknowledging what's come before it.
Well, I think we have,
rather than erase it.
Yeah. I think we have more precedence for that now, with Dark Crystal getting the Netflix series.
Yeah. I heard the Olsen twins are in that.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry if you're an Olsen twins fan. We just saw it. I think, did you post that meme on Facebook? Gosh,
yeah.
That was hilarious. I'm going to find it and add it to this video right now. Okay.
But yeah, with the Dark Crystal on Netflix, they've done a really good job of it still being in continuity. Mm-hmm. And
is it out?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't watched it.
It's worth watching.
So, I know you think you know me, but you might not when I tell you this next thing. I've never seen the Dark Crystal.
It's on Netflix.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it, definitely. But you said the sequel's on there now too. It's already out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've done a really good job of staying in continuity, and even though it's filmed, 30 years later, it still feels like it fits in with the old one. They've stuck with the Jim Henson puppets.
Nice. Is the Creature Shop, did they supply the?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So for Labyrinth, it would only make sense for them to continue with Jim Henson, Creature Shop, doing the puppets for it, and but since Dark Crystal's been successful with that, it only makes sense for Labyrinth to follow suit.
Yeah, and I think there's a real desire out there right now for filmmakers to go back to practical special effects. Yeah. I think I'm absolutely blown away by what CGI has to offer, but and this is just my personality, I love mechanical things, hands-on and stuff. I'm so much more, I shouldn't say fascinated, because I think the computer animators and stuff just do a freaking tremendous job, and it's absolutely mind-blowing where that's taken the film industry. But I love looking at things and thinking, wow, look at how they painted that, did the detail, made it's just like, I will advocate for the rubber suit Ninja Turtles forever, that you just can't replace that. It's just such a
it even just feels more physical on screen.
Yeah. And it could be just we're coming from a time when that's all we had, so we can still look. But I look at things, there's some stuff like Back to the Future 2, when you see the DeLorean take off right at the beginning, that I didn't question that as a kid, but looking at it now, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That little scene right there, and I know it's cutting edge for the time, I don't mean it's terrible, but by today's standards, with what CGI has done and stuff, it would look much better. But you can tell it's not, the DeLorean's not actually there. So there are some things from back then that don't look as good. But look at the bugs and the blades of grass from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. All that stuff, the Cheerios in that movie. To me, that is one of the greatest movies of all time, just because of all the practical special effects and set pieces. And I love the premise of that movie. I absolutely love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Whereas nowadays, if they did a new a remake of it, it would be 95% green screen.
Probably. There's a sequel coming.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and is it Josh Gad? Is that his name? Do you know who that is? No. Did you see Pixels?
Yes.
He was the goofy friend with the glasses that was the Wonder Kid.
Okay.
He's supposed to play Nick Zielinski all grown up, and now I guess he shrinks his. I don't know. I think it's in the early stages, but again, I'm just glad they're keeping it in continuity with the original. I don't think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids needs another sequel. In fact, if you've never watched Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, which was supposed to be a theatrical sequel after Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, but Disney had so much success with their straight-to-home video content that they thought, or animated content, they thought, let's try it live action. So they sent Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves straight to DVD or VHS at the time. It is better than Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. If you haven't seen it, give it a shot. I mean, it's nowhere near the magic and the wonder of the first Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but it's definitely a more suitable sequel than Honey, I Blew Up the Kid was. Wow, man. This is the conversations we have on our own. Like, we'll take a walk down to the store and, just talk, it's about a mile down the road, and these are the conversations we have, and it always starts off with one thing and, and then just completely
goes in 10 different directions.
Yeah. Are we done talking about the Labyrinth now?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's our thoughts. What do you guys think about a proposed Labyrinth sequel? What do you think about sequels and reboots in general? Do you guys have any opinion, like yay, nay, whatever? Do you agree with us? Do you hate us for our opinion? Gosh, I hope you don't hate us for our opinion. I love you guys, man. You're great. Anyway, enough talking. We will see you in the next video.
All right. Take it easy.
You know, sir, it's cousin Ryan on the Hollywood Boulevard. You know, sir, he bigger than any superstar. All of us spit you some real dope bar. Some of them sweeter than any chocolate bar. Boom!
Okay.